not a god, I am Hunkpain!
Oh shit, here we go again. What?
Another one.
What's Povitano and welcome. I hope you enjoyed the speedrun. If you did, let me know in the comments below and hit the like button while you're at it. Hopefully we reach 100 likes on this video. Now, in this video I will show you how to mod your HALIKAR Wraith for level 9999 in Warframe, or known as level cap. It's a glaive weapon, very underrated. Not a lot of people likes to use it, and of course we're gonna consider the new status rework in the game. If you didn't watch my video explaining the new status rework, check it out. Now let's go for the build. And now before I show you the build, there is a couple of things you need to learn about the HALIKAR Wraith, so you know your weapon, what it's capable of, so you just don't like use it and you don't know what it's doing actually. Unique trait, 50% chance to disarm enemies when thrown. This is like a semi-Logi ultimate. Now, heavy attack have a forced proc blast when thrown. Now, blast deals 30% of base damage after 1.5 seconds as an explosion. Now, it got reworked to become blasty, so at 10 stacks or on death, mainly will rely on death. Stacks deal their damage simultaneously to enemies within 5 meters, staggering them. That's very, very powerful for our build. And the build goes as follows. Astral Twilight in the stance, Dreamer's Wrath to activate Tennocreate and increase the chance for Tennocreate to pop by 50% and increase your critical damage by 32%. But where is Tennocreate, Han? Tennocreate is a new thing in Warframe that you put in your melee weapons. What it does exactly, a sword will pop on your screen. When you perform a heavy attack, it will be free of combo multiplier. And if you equip Dreamer's Wrath, it will have more critical damage. Simple as that. Sacrificial Steel to increase critical chance and 2 times increase of that 220% critical chance if you perform a heavy attack, which you should. A lot of Thanos, they're using glaives, all of them, and they don't know how to use it and they complain about how low their damage is. In today's video I will show you how to. Alright, Primed Smiter Orokin for multiplicative damage against faction. Depends on the faction you're fighting, you'll be switching that from Orokin to Corpus to whatever, to Grenier, to Infested, to and so on and so on and so on. And by the way, Orokin is the Corrupted, they just put them to line up with the faction. Organ Shatter in here, we're not using Amalgam Organ Shatter because we got the melee Elementalist, 90% statue damage and 60% heavy attack wind up speed. And I will show you how to switch mods later on to build the weapon in a different way. Worry not. Primed Pressure Point for additive damage, Corrupt Charge for initial combo, and Voltaic Strike for electricity and statue chance, and Killing Blow for increase of melee damage on heavy attacks, and 60% heavy attack wind up speed. Now, Voltaic Strike is electricity, as you can see, so when we perform a heavy attack, it will be electricity and blast. Okay, so you need to make sure that your damage efficacy is like doesn't have any negative multiplicative against any faction, so you're good to go. And blast as well, but as you can see here, Corpus Amalgam are tanking you, but don't worry about it. We don't care about that really, because we want the blast to transfer right, that damage that happens and so on. Now, melee influence on melee electricity statue, 20% chance for elemental melee statue effect to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds, cannot refresh while active. So now you see the idea here. So we're using melee influence to transfer blast to enemies, and since the blast have a 5 meter, it's very short, and the melee influence have like 20 meters. So you get the idea here. So everything transfer to each other. We're gonna create a mass destruction, and I will show you how to switch things around. Now you can use Uniter to armor strip enemies with the second ability of that. You can use Sedo, you can use Epitaph, you can use whatever to prime enemies, but we're not gonna do that, and I didn't do that in level cap. Also on level cap, I didn't take Revenant. It was Amber if you paid attention on the speedrun, but I didn't use any aura or any arcanes, and the weapon performed really good. So now with this you will perform even better. Now still charge in the aura, and I will show you how to change the aura later on for a different build style. Arcane Fury for melee damage, Arcane Strike for attack speed. You can flip the Arcane Strike, really it's not necessary, but it's good to have, not a bad idea. Now for Nourish is our viral source, but if you don't want to use Nourish and you don't want to use Uniter for armor strip, check this picture right here. It will show you how you move things around the way you like. I made you this picture for Thanos that always like comment, why don't you do this with this? So this picture for you to move things around if you don't like them. So Nourish for viral, I'm giving you energy. For the Archon shards, don't worry about the 2 emerald Archon shards, but if you're going to, for example, use a weapon to armor strip that it's built with corrosive, this will help you a lot. The Violet Archon shards, you want to run as many as possible, and hopefully they're Tau Forged if you have, right, to increase your critical damage. But if you have more than 500 energy, the damage double boost is doubled. Okay, now for the companion, really it's up to you and what gameplay you're going to play, but for me I will use Nautilus to pull enemy with Cordon, and Manifold will pull more enemies. A lot of Thanos thinks that Manifold doesn't work with Cordon. Yes, it does. The only thing Manifold Bone doesn't work with is Negate from Wyrm and the Ghost from Shade companion. So you just know Tenacious Bone for critical damage, and here we got the Volclock build, the Vigilante set for your primary weapons, and this to increase the critical hit, so for the Tenacious Bone to work. Now let's test the weapon against the level 225 heavy corrupted gunners with steel path modifiers. Let's go. Now to fight these enemies properly, you need to understand how to use your glaive. Glaive, you don't use them by tapping your melee weapon. That's very wrong. Just go use something else like Siphon or Nikana Prime or something like that. That's not how you use your glaive. And it's not just throwing it like so, like way, this is how I'm using. Oh my god, look at me guys, I'm using glaive. Oh my god, look at me, I'm using glaive. That's not how you use your glaive. So how Hank exactly we use our glaive? Now using glaive is really simpler than you think, which is you throw and you detonate. Now this is without detonating. You see there is no effect. Now if I detonate, you see, boom, look at that, boom. This is with and this is without. So technically what I'm doing is when I throw the weapon, when it reaches the destination that I want, I hit the heavy attack button on the mouse wheel, like you're performing a heavy attack. The Kalervo mains would know that. Alright? So it detonates, and that's the maximum potential of your glaive. So let's do this. Activating Nourish and hitting those enemies. There we go. As you can see, the difference on the damage is huge. Okay? Now, remember these enemies are weak to viral with a modifier 1.5. Okay, let's summon more enemies. Heavy corrupted gunners. Steel Path Edition, of course. And let's go. Look at that. You see the power of this weapon? Now, if your glaive doesn't do the same damage, you're using it wrong or you're not detonating in the right time, my friend.
Yeah, boy.
That's the real power of the weapon. Look at that. Boom. And now there's nothing to prove. The weapon already killed level cap, so let's clear that and so on. Now, if you want to switch the build around, let's say you don't want to use the melee elementalist and the rebound, like the bouncing of the weapon is really bothering you. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be using volatile quick return. Volatile quick return will remove the bounce on the weapon and increase your blast radius, which is really amazing and boosts the weapon by tons. Now, if you do that, you want to put back the amalgam organ shatter in here. Now, this is the first thing you maybe decide to do. So I'm giving you different ideas for different builds here, so you don't stuck to one. There we go. Now, this will give you more accuracy on your glaive. So it's like thrown and it doesn't bounce between walls and enemies and stuff like that. Alright, so it's just like go straight where you want it and it detonates and skills, and increasing the blast radius. Okay, it's one of my favorite mods, but I just wanted to use the melee elementalist because it's like the new mod and everyone will be asking about it, and I try to take it level cap and so on. But probably I'll be using the volatile like I do on my glaives. Now, let's say, for example, you want to make this weapon, let's say, viral. You don't want to use Nourish and you want to build the weapon viral. Very simple. You remove the corrupt charge and you use a toxin mod in here. All right, here we go. Boom. And now your weapon is corrosive, actually, because we have electricity, but here we're going to be changing the cold. Okay, here you go. Now you're ready for viral. Now, what you going to use in the melee instead of melee influence? Really simple. You use whatever you want. Now, you can use melee crescendo and you use Ash to get the 12 combo multipliers. Really powerful stuff. Really powerful. Now, you can use, for example, the arcane retaliation. Gain 30% melee damage for every 200 current shield up to 420%. You can use on melee hit, gain 35% critical chance on your next heavy attack, and so on. Really powerful and good, and I like it. This on ability cast add a corrosive, which I really like because you can armor strip enemies with them. But whatever you use here, it's really up to you. This one, for example, enemies affected by statue effect gain 1 additional stack when they are knocked down or fanged, but I don't really love this stuff. Melee duplicate is nice because this weapon is actually performing more like yellow crits, because the melee duplicates doesn't work on orange crits and red crits, so that you know. Okay, let's test the weapon with the viral. Okay, summoning some enemies in there. I'm not activating Nourish. And here you go. We are viral and blast. Look at that. Boom and boom. Now, you say, Hank, okay, did we just lose our 2 combo multipliers? I don't like that, Hank. No, worry not, my friend, because we can use the Ready Steel, the new aura, which increases your initial combo by 24, and here you go. That's your 2 combo multipliers that you worry about from the corrupt charge, and you can actually do something else if you want to use them both. You can use the corrupt charge and the ready steel, and you will have the best from both worlds. No problem. Okay, simple as that. Now, for example, if you're fighting a corpus, we all know the corpus are weak to toxin and stuff. What you can do is you can keep the toxin, or you use the primitive strike. Up to you what you want to do. And we remove frost. We put the corrupt charge back in here. All right, simple as that. And then we go to our revenant and we keep the ready steel, so the weapon is modded for toxin. Okay, and now let's summon some corpus, baby. Here you go, summoning some corpus. All right, and check this out. Instant death. The reason for the instant death is that the toxin bypasses their shield and kills them. Simple as that. Now, if we put viral on from Nourish, like we was doing, now they will get toxin and increase on their damage on HP from toxin. It's really powerful and really crazy. So that's how you play around on your weapon. Like, you don't really necessarily follow it the same way, so you switch this with that, you try things, and I really see a lot of Thanos that plays around with their weapon, and like, I'm really like shocked how much things they create and how amazing stuff they really do. So back to our build, which is here you go. We had electricity, melee influence, and we're good to go. And that's pretty much what you want to change around. Now, every video I'm going to release, I say, okay, this video I will make it super short for the Thanos, like, so they get the build and so on. If you notice in the timestamps or the chapters, you will see like the build. You just can click the build and you go right there. But every time, spontaneously, I find myself talking more than I should, because I love to explain the Thanos that maybe just the first time they come here, or first time they play Warframe, or first time they get their HALIKAR and they don't know what their weapon is capable of, or the game, how it works, or things. So I try to explain. So this like video is educative, and like you just can take the build but understanding, and you learn something every single time you watch any of my videos, especially the new ones. But for the ones that watch most of the videos, these things already known, already explained, so they're gonna be just popping towards the build. And there is always Thanos who copy paste the build without even knowing, by just checking them how they perform on level cap. Okay, I'm gonna build this weapon and copy paste. All right, so by this we reach the end of the video. Remember, this picture will help you a lot to move around things on your weapons. Make sure also to watch my statue rework video. It's really important. It will help you understand everything about the game status rework and all you need. Now, I want to say thank you so much, guys, for all your amazing support to the channel. Let's try and reach 100 likes on this video. Join our Discord link in the description. And don't forget to like. It supports all of the channel. And subscribe if you want to see more. Turn the bell on to get a notification when I release a video. And I'll see you guys next time. Salute and peace and love.
I am not a king, I am not a god, I am Hunkpain.